2, 1. Ayo! Welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. This is a real somber Ayo because my dumb behind deleted the first episode of this, and we have to re-record this. Great job, Eric. But this is a good friend of mine, my dog, my bro, the homie, the home slice. What else?
Wasn't prepared for that one, but yeah.
Get up for Andrew Brown. Again, well, not again for y'all, but again for me, because again, I deleted the first episode like a dumbass. But give it up. Applause. All right, that's enough applause for you. You don't need no more applause.
I see people still clapping behind your screen because.
How are you today?
But yeah, I'm pretty cool. I'm chilling. Today it was alright. Nothing too interesting. It was a normal day, but yeah, I'm just been chilling.
It was a nice day outside today. What you do? You do anything?
Nah, I was out with my dog a little bit, but besides that, nothing for real. Because it was like mad hot out. Like there was no type of breeze, no nothing. It was just thick hot air.
Did you just say
pause, bro?
That was thick. Bro.
Pause, bro.
Oh, bro. You just said it was thick heat outside.
Out here feeling like Berlin, bro. Pause.
You just said it was thick heat outside. Bro,
the air was thick, bro. The air was thick. It was no breeze. It was just heat.
Bro, we was not finna start the podcast.
It felt like the devil just breathed.
Bro, this is not the trajectory this podcast is going to go. This is not where it's going to go today. I refuse.
Right, I didn't mean it like that. Next question. Sorry, but go ahead.
He said the air was thick.
All right, you jazzing it, y'all. It's not even that. Anyway,
bro, all right, bro. We is not.
How was your day? How you been doing today, Eric?
It was cool, man. I didn't get a chance to go outside. I've been doing some stuff. Been buying a lot of stuff. So I didn't really get a chance to go outside. But yeah, and enjoy this beautiful weather. But I'm gonna be outside though soon. You know the vibes.
We outside.
You know the vibes. We outside. You know the vibes. But no, so I brought you back on because I really liked our conversation that we had the first pod. Yeah, and I'm pissed that I accidentally let go of that episode. People are gonna say that sounds weird. I don't care. Just take that as you all want. But yeah, so I'm re-recording this one because I really like that conversation that we had. And I really want to have that conversation again because I think that's an important conversation for people to have. And it I received an idea based on the conversation that was had between you and me for the podcast moving forward. That's right. The word that. So, where am I going to start this conversation? I don't know. Where do you want to start this conversation? If you want to start this at a certain place that you remember us talking about the other week.
Numbers for sure. Definitely, I'm going to start with numbers.
You want to start with numbers again? Okay. What were the numbers? I forgot.
All right. Well.
No. I know them.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So mentally, one to 10 number. Where you at? Mentally.
Today, I say I'm at a 8.
An 8. That's high. That's higher than what it was
last time. Right? Yeah.
That's higher than what it was last time. What's up?
Because I feel like, at least me personally, because I can't speak for everybody, but there's never a solid 10. Like being a teenager in the middle of a pandemic while going to art school and being Black at that, it's never necessarily at a solid 10 for me personally. There's always so much running through my head or always something to look at being we have direct access to social media and current events and things like that. So my mental state is never at a solid 10 anymore. Because like if I was 5, then have to do all this work, yeah, I'd be in the 10 all day.
No bull. Kids don't know how good they have it. Like little kids that don't like got to go to school yet and just got to like stay home and watch TV
Right.
and cartoons.
One class for an hour.
They don't know the struggle. They don't. Man, how it will feel to be 5 again.
That makes me feel old. You know what I was just about to say?
What?
They don't know how lucky they are. I know.
Nah, them young what do the old people call them?
Whippersnappers.
Whippersnappers. There you go.
Young whippersnappers.
There you go. They don't know my knees bad now. Nobody told me 15 came with bad knees.
Like no one informed me that you will have them aches. Your parents gonna call them growth aches, but nah. Crackling, popping. Bag of chips.
No, for real. Like some damn popcorn. Or you hear pop, 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 pop. God, that was my hip. God damn. My hip. Mentally for me, I'll say when I recorded you the week before last. So since the week before last, I would say my mental health has gone down. I think last time I said probably like a 7. I'll say it went down to a 5. These past 2 weeks have been really, really rough. Rough couple of weeks. Just been a lot going on. Right now, I'm looking at my calendar just to see like what I was doing between last week and this week. And yeah, it's been a pretty wild couple of weeks for me personally. Um, Sunday was a good day though. Last Sunday was a good day. I went with my friends. I was with my friends. My friend, it was my friend Sierra's birthday, so we went celebrated that, and yeah, so that was a good day. But everything else was kind of weak on this part of the spectrum. But think the second one, this might have been the second one, but I know it was one. Socially, friendships, relationships, your personal relationship with your girlfriend, your personal friendships with your personal friendships with your friends, parents. If you can combine all that into one number from 1 through 10, what would you put that?
All that, like all of them.
Yeah.
Even though like
Well, you said what?
My bad. Even though like in like relationships period,
Mm-hmm.
like relationships with like your family members or like even a partner, like as far as relationships, like relationships all have their ups and downs.
Right.
Me personally, I say like 93% of my relationships are at a good 10. And I say like I that up and like they just be a 10 because like my relationships period, like who I surround myself with, like you, my other friends, my girlfriend, like my parents, my family, like all that, like they constantly keep me afloat and like
Right.
motivation. So like if it wasn't for you guys being a 10 and like the rest of my family members and friends and my girlfriend being a 10, like if it wasn't for all of that, then I feel like my previous answer, like my mental state period, probably would have been lower. Because like for the past, like throughout the pandemic period, like my mental state has never been below 4.
Right.
And I feel like that's like thanks to like family members and like the relationships I have with other people. And I feel like honestly, like I feel blessed to have like family and friends because a lot of people don't necessarily like have someone to talk to or have someone to look out for them. And yeah, that's what I would say. They're out of 10.
Those are like little things that we take for granted. That I even take for granted, right? Just like the access that I have to my friends, um the that I can just call them whenever, no questions asked. that's something that I feel like we all take for granted. Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'll give that a 10. Um, all my relationships are in a pretty good place right now. Um, actually, no, I'll take that back. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. But yeah, but like I said, all my relationships are in a pretty good place right now. Is one specific relationship where it's like, not that it's like bad. It's just like confusing on where we stand, and not like in like a bad way, but in just a in a confusing on where we stand type way. But yeah, I'll give my relationships a 9. This is one that we didn't touch on last pod, but that I want to touch on this one. Economically, what your pockets looking like? What your bread?
I can't watch it.
What your bread looking
What
like?
you, what you, what you, what you trying, what you, like no,
What you trying to do?
what you
What your what
trying?
your,
But
what your
no,
pockets looking like?
realistically, I feel like that is a inappropriate question. We have to look out for the youth. And speaking of finances, I feel like there should be some type of financial aid or class in like all school systems because goes back to what I was saying earlier about not having a person to talk to. A lot of people and students are financially unstable, and once they do get money, and once they do get grants and scholarships, they won't necessarily know how to handle that money because they weren't taught how, or they didn't have someone to teach them how to handle money and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna answer that question.
That was smart. That was really smart. I think people misunderstand what financially stable is. Being financially stable isn't having money. Well, it is having money, but that's not just the only piece.
It's mainly like money management.
It's knowing what to do with that money that you have, right? And so like even at a young age, if you have $2 and you're just saving that $2, in my opinion, you're financially stable. You're saving that $2 for whatever. That $2 can turn into 20. That 20 can turn into 100. Like who knows, right? Um, but yeah, so that's something that we misconstrue. I'm not going to answer that economic question because it's none of y'all business. I'm, I'm doing economically.
Just know I'm in my bag.
Just know I'm in my bag heavy.
Yeah. Who bag? My bag, right? Yeah,
my bag.
Right.
Come on, don't play with me. Thinking of one. Oh, school, right? School wise, educationally, education. Just
word that starts with edgy. Okay. So
yeah, just school 1 through 10, nigga. You know what I'm talking about.
1 to 10 on like school period, I'd give it a solid. I don't know. I don't know. You got me stuck with this one. Like it's just a number, but still, like I'm really thinking about it. But like, there's so many different ways to answer that question. Like with the follow up besides the number, because like when you say school, are you talking about for me personally, or like how I feel on the school system, or like the
No,
education?
for like right now, like if you can base how like how you feel about, well, all of it, how you're doing in school, how you feel about the school system. If you can base all that into a number through 1 to 10, 10 being the best, by the way, everybody's listening, 10 is like amazing and 1 is like trash. But yeah, 1 to 10, how would you rate that?
Okay, how I'm doing in school, personally, I rate that like a smooth 7.
Okay.
Like my previous terms weren't all that,
Yeah.
but it's a brand new term, fresh start. Feeling pretty confident. I feel like I have a clear understanding on how to manage distant learning for me personally. And as far as the other ones, the school system and school board, I'd give it a solid 4.5. And I forgot the other one that was a number, but yeah, for those two, 7.5 and like a 4.5.
7.5, 4.5. I'm giving school personally for me a 7. I'm just ready to get over this term.
Right.
And the school system, I'm giving it a 2. Y'all aren't doing a great job of taking care of your kids during the pandemic. Y'all aren't doing a great job of taking care of your kids that are inside of the school during a pandemic. Even though we are in the middle of a pandemic, it should not feel like prison to your students. And
I feel like they don't take good care of their students, period. And in American school period, but like specifically American school, because I can't speak for
right.
I just don't I can't speak for the entire like
Right.
population. But in America, I feel like the school system is very unsafe. Because like if we were in a pandemic, guaranteed there would have been like at least 3 school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, like with our school, as far as like what's going on, I'm pretty sure a lot of your followers and like your following like know what's going on with Duke specifically. Mm-hmm. Touching much is a sensitive topic, you know. Right. Like I feel like school should be a safe place. Mm-hmm. They should be able to like get their education and like be surrounded by like a judgment-free zone.
Right.
It should be what's on the brochure, but like it's the complete opposite. And I feel like the school system and schools period just like don't make school like a safe haven for students.
Mm. But it's not though, right? So the part of the reason why I didn't want to go back to school when they announced like kids can go back on Monday, right? Was because of the fact that I feel better when I'm at home. I feel more safe. I'm in my own environment. I don't have to go by your rules. I don't have to do this, that, and the third, right? I'm at home. Where if I was in school, I'll have to be in the same room all day, like I was at home. I would have lunch, but I can only sit at a table with one other person.
Right.
I can be at lunch and I can be on FaceTime with 5 different, but I'm on FaceTime with 5 people. So that's okay. No. And even still, like the whole artistic element of going to Duke Ellington School of the Arts, it's kind of has gotten thrown under the bus because like fuck are we doing, right? Like what are we doing when we open back school, right? What are we doing when your kids are saying, man, it feels like I'm in prison, right? What do you do? What do you do to combat that? And the answer is nothing.
Right. And like not only that, like I feel like we have to take a step back and like look at like, where the problem is deriving from. Like why students feel this way, like why students don't want to go back to school, and like how are getting students back in school, like how is that helpful for the students?
Right.
Yeah, like that's helpful for the school, like financially and like having people in the building and like I wouldn't say financially because people probably still donating to do this stuff, even outside of school. But like yeah, like it's helping the school, but how is it necessarily like helping the student? And it's like I feel like Duke personally, because like, I could only speak for Duke for real. I feel like they haven't done a good job with like hearing their students. It's like Duke, the student body at Duke, like we have a voice. Like we know we have a voice and we use it. But like for some reason, Duke doesn't necessarily always hear it and take action.
Right. But so, now comes the question, how much does Duke really care about their students? As much as they say they do, right? I feel like the student I don't want to say this. Yeah, that's the question. But how much does Duke really care about their students, right? What do they really care about?
2. Nah, but all Duke's aside,
2.
I say no. I say like a
no,
solid.
No, what is the 2? What's 2? What is that?
What do you mean? What's 2?
What are you talking
Number
about?
dos, two, a number.
Yeah, but why are you picking a number?
Because you said from 1 to 10.
I didn't. I just said I just said how much this dude really can. I didn't. You could have said a lot, a little. I didn't know that's what we were doing.
I thought we were on the numbers thing. I was confused,
Okay,
bro.
okay. We can do the numbers thing too.
Are you feeling, bro? This is okay. Yeah, this drink got me sweating, y'all. Okay. No, I say Duke cares about the student body. Not a lot, honestly. Like they care about the student body, but like not as much as they can. Excuse me. And I feel like that because not only like the recent events that occurred and like ongoing events that what is the name of these people? Not staff members, administration.
Oh,
Yeah, like the ongoing events that like the administration has. I wouldn't say yet to take care of, but yet to take care of. Because
you said I don't want to say to take care of, but
yeah. It's like seriously, like when is enough enough? Because clearly it's a reoccurring thing. Like there's a new case literally every year for the past 4 years.
Yeah, probably longer. Probably longer than that. If we're honest. But man, if we keeping it a whole bean though, if we being honest, like keeping it real transparent, keeping it 55-50. We keeping keeping it 55-50 right now, right?
Oh, it was 51-50, but yeah.
If we being honest, why don't we just stop as the students, right? So I brung this example to my ensemble. Our freshman year, it was like early in the year, right? It was like September or October, right? And they looked at me like I was dumb.
What do you mean by stop? Elaborate.
But I'm about to. But if we don't like something, right, or if we want something to change, or for example, right, if you're working at a job, you want a whole group of people want some more pay. The job isn't trying to give the people more pay. Your job is a key portion of how the job runs. You would go on strike, correct?
What do you mean as a student body saying it's like stop as a whole, like stop coming to class, stop coming to school, like stop being a participant in Ellington? Is that what you mean by stop order?
In a sense, yes. Now while it is a school and we still have to graduate, we don't have to put up with the shit that they are trying to make us put up with. And right now, even though like the little like the Instagram posts and stuff, like that's cool, but I'm not seeing no like real action being put into place. Like I don't see nobody fighting admin. I don't see nobody fighting Sandy Logan. I don't see nobody fighting Mama Hollis. Like I don't see nobody fighting Mr. Walker. Like I don't see nobody fighting these people.
Because think about it. It's all right. I know you watch this podcast. I'm an athlete.
That's where I was 55-50 from.
Interesting. Yeah. So you know how they were talking about like how come like in the NFL people didn't say stuff about like the racial injustice, like the first person to do it. The dude with the knee, I'm forgetting his name right now. Right. But he took the knee like before like the big paycheck, like before like it was really known about like not the racial injustice, but like before speaking out was known about in the NFL. Right. Because I wouldn't say it's because like we're afraid of administration, but because like we haven't graduated. That's what I feel like it is. Like what they were saying on I Am Athlete, like the people who are well off in the NFL industry, in the league, the people who have the money, they have succeeded. Like I feel like those are the people that's liable to talk. And the students, I feel like they were liable to talk. You can say stuff, but like it's not necessarily heard. And I feel like we're not just going to stop because, like you said, like we haven't graduated. We still need to graduate.
But even still, though, even the people that graduated still ain't fighting for us. Even the people that's gone and already went through that is looking back like, that's crazy that y'all gotta go through that now. Like, why? No, like, why aren't y'all?
Okay. But take. I'm not sure what their pronouns are, so this might be offensive. Okay, I'm gonna just call her. So the girl who had texted like the administrators and like informed them like about the latest case.
Right.
Oh, I forgot his name, but like the arts teacher. Mm-hmm. And was telling, I almost said her name, was telling administrators like about the case, and they weren't believing her, and they were telling her like, okay, like just go on with it, like move over, like he's a teacher, blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Like even though like they weren't listening to her while she was doing it, mm-hmm. afterward she still made it known she was graduated. Right. Nobody really like when she posted that on Instagram and posted the teacher and wrote like that long paragraph on her story. Like she's an alumni, but like she's still like advocated for us. I feel like, even though I don't know, because that just sounded really contradictory.
No, I understand. No, I understand. I understand what you said. I understand what you're saying, but I mean by like fighting for us, right? Is mm-hmm. going to the next level. So yes, you ask admin, you look at admin in their face and like, yeah, this is happening. Can you stop? Admin said no. All right, now it's time to rally. It's time to get It's time to get 10, 20, 30 students to write letters to admin. It's time to all storm their offices. Like, it's not impossible when people know the cause, right?
Okay, but no, I feel like it is, because then you got to take into account everybody's perspective. Yeah, you could say like everybody says they're against what said teacher did.
Right.
People could say that all they want. But then again, you have to look at the bigger picture. In the student body, there's multiple students that agree with the teacher and have done things that the teacher has done, mm-hmm. like to other students. So I feel like it's similar. I'm not gonna put those two together, but like similar, like with the racial injustice and the situation that's been going on with Duke. Like mm-hmm. at the end of the day, it's never gonna end. And like, yeah, it's a sad realization to come to. Like, yeah, it shouldn't have to be that way. Yeah, people shouldn't have to like walk around school like looking over their back and like fearing for their innocence or fearing for their life.
Right.
Like, it's the sad truth that we have to come to, that like isn't never going to end.
Okay.
And I feel like this bleeds into the all men topic, but I don't know if you want to talk about that on here yet.
Okay, wait, hold on. So before we get into anything else, I'm just going to propose a question. This is not a question that for it to like be answered. This is just a question, like a food for thought question, right? We talked about how much that whole conversation was based off of how much Duke really cares about the students, right? If Duke Ellington School of the Arts, I'm looking into the camera and I am talking to you right now. If you really care about your students, how you say you do, why are there rapists and why are there teachers? No, we're being real. We're keeping it 50. We're keeping it 55-50.
I wasn't expecting you.
No, we're keeping it 55-50.
I wasn't.
No, we keep
it about to look bad for my brand. No, I'm not laughing at rape, y'all. I swear it's not funny. It's just the way he said it.
No,
I was caught off guard.
We keeping it 55-50, right? Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I'm looking you dead in your eye at Duke Ellington School of the Arts. If you really care about your students, why are there rapists that are students and rapists that are teachers, pedophiles that are still roaming the school today?
Technically roaming their homes, but yeah.
Black men, black people. Why do we struggle? Why do we struggle with mental health? What is wrong with us? Why are we broken?
Why are like is this a new topic? Bleeding into
this not.
Stickers. Black people. Why?
Like this. This isn't one of my best transitions, but this is gonna have to work today. It's not one of my.
It's still a transition. Like, okay.
It's not one of my best transitions.
Next question.
but black people, what's wrong with us? Why? Well, more specifically, black men. What's wrong with us? Why can't we share our emotions with each other? Why can't we cry? What's wrong with us crying? Why are we broken?
Systematic oppression.
You said what?
And you can say that I said systematic oppression.
Okay.
Like that can mean multiple different like the prison system or like the education system. Like systematic oppression, period, has a lot to do with mental health and especially mental health for Black males. Because when you look at like society and like societal rules, it's like it's always been known that like it's an unwritten rule that like Black men are supposed to have tough skin. Like they're not supposed to cry. They're not supposed to feel emotions or show them. Right. They're just supposed to take it on their chest. Take it on their chin. But I feel like it's been like so deeply enrooted, like generationally, that I don't even know if that's a word, generationally. It's like been so deeply rooted. Right. It's been so deeply rooted that like it's unshakable. And I feel like even though like now like Gen Z, like we're so young, I feel like we're much more emotionally aware than other generations at our age. Cause like honestly, I feel like our generation will be the generation that will break that cycle. Cause like not only do we have cancel culture, not cancer. Ooh, my bad. Cancel culture. Cancel culture. Like basically it can be hurtful. It can be hard to be canceled. Ask PewDiePie, not PewDiePie. What's that boy name? Never mind.
EDP 445
EDP. Yeah. It can be hard to be canceled. Like that stuff does hurt. But like at the end of the day, like as far as like Gen Z, I definitely feel like we are going to be the ones to break that systematic stereotype when it comes to Black men, and like we're not allowed to have emotions and stuff like that. Because like not only like are we being educated, like and we educate ourselves like very easily. Because like we said on the first recording, like we were born into the generation of technology, basically. Like yeah, no, like where we left off. Sorry for the minor inconvenience, guys. But yeah, like I just feel like systematically, like we're just so used to being emotionally oppressed as Black men that it's become an unspoken rule and has been normalized. But I honestly feel like Gen Z and like the generation that we're born into, the age of technology, the age of social media, I feel like as much as we educate ourselves on a day-to-day basis, I feel like we're going to be able to break that stereotype. We're going to be able to like break that unspoken rule. Like, excuse me. Eventually, it will be okay for us to have emotions. It will be okay for us to speak our mind. But, yeah.
I was talking to one of my friends about that the other day. Like I haven't cried in a long time. It's been a while since the last time I cried. Actually, I was talking to Sierra about this. It's been a while. It's been a long, little while since the last time I cried. Right? It's a while. Huh?
Happy belated birthday, Sierra.
Oh yeah, happy belated. Well, I told you happy birthday. You got enough happy birthdays from me. Second nah. Happy belated.
Coming out in this shit is not coming out in April. Anyway.
It sure ain't. It's coming out in May. Damn, how you know my schedule?
May. Nigga, May was last.
That's March.
Oh shit. Hold on. Ooh. That mean I got shit to do. Damn.
Anyway, I was talking to.
I have to do a lot of editing.
Anyway, I'm talking to my friend about me not crying, and yeah. and why I haven't cried in a long time, right? And she
You
said, and basically she was talking about
before
like how you just need to like how we just need to let all of that out, right? But niggas, we don't be having time to cry. Like it'd be things that be needing to get done. Like it'd be work that be needing to get done. Like ain't no, I don't got time to just sit down and just break down in tears. Because the time I could
right,
be breaking down.
and like after the tears, regardless, the shit that we gotta do is still gonna be there. Like it's not gonna end. It's not gonna
It's
stop.
not gonna go
Like
nowhere.
time waits for nobody. So cry or not, regardless, we still got that stuff on our plate that
Right.
like to get done and needs to get finished. And me personally, I cried. When was the last time I cried? 3 weeks ago.
30 weeks ago?
3?
Oh, I was about to say 30 weeks. That's really specific.
Oddly specific, but not. 3 weeks ago. And honestly, I don't remember what it was specifically. I just know that like I was down and I wasn't in the best spot mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned on my music, sat in the dark and cried, bro. And like, not gonna lie, like even like being still like I cried recently, I didn't necessarily feel better after.
Mm-hmm.
And like that, I feel like that's because like as a black man, like I'm not used to crying. I'm not used to being allowed to cry. So like
Right.
if I were to let it out, even though I was able to cry, like it did no justice because like I wasn't used to it. Like it was foreign. So like crying to me is a display of weakness. It's not a coping mechanism.
Right.
And like that also bleeds into like toxic masculinity and sexism and like how like little girls are pampered and little boys are told to get up and brush it off.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like those like pretty much bleed into each other. Like, do I think it's right? No, not at all. Like as a child, like if you're hurt, you're supposed to be able to cry. Like it shouldn't be based upon your sex or like your sexual orientation. Like if you're allowed to cry or not. Because like at the end of the day, like you're still a child. Like you're still in pain regardless.
Right. You know what just crossed my mind? That's like really corny to me.
I don't know, but like what cross?
I, of course you don't know. Um, is when people post when they cry, or like people like go on their story or like on TikTok and they just post like when they be down bad. And while like yeah, and while that's good, right? Like in hindsight, like when you get better, and when you and we see like the come up, like okay, you was down, you was crying and stuff, but oh look at you now, right? But at in the moment, I'm like, nobody wants to see you cry, bro. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody
And
cares.
it's not necessarily like a no one cares thing because nobody cares, but like mainly because
People have their own issues going on.
thank you. Thank
Not
you.
that. All right, I use that no one cares thing way too loosely. Not that no one cares, because people care. Because I care about the you crying, right? But I have things too. I want to cry too. I want to cry, but I can't cry. And not saying that you don't. Not saying that you have to hold that in, right? Not saying that you can't cry, but like, bro, like I don't want to see you crying and tearing up on all of my timeline, bro.
And I feel like if crying like really is a coping mechanism and like a way for you to like release those negative emotions, honestly, me personally, like to each his own, like your comfortability with social media is your comfortability.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I feel like that that like won't necessarily like it's I'm gonna say how do I word this?
I think it needs to be more. I think that should be more personal in
Thank you.
public. Like
Yeah.
crying should be more. And well, then again, who am I to tell somebody how to cope with whatever they're going with? Right? I'm not no therapist. I'm just a dude that does a podcast. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like crying is a real personal thing because that's. I feel like you're connecting with yourself emotionally.
Right.
Right or wrong.
Correct.
Right. So I don't think that you should be publicly or letting people see you connect with yourself, right? That's a real vulnerable state for people to see you in.
Right.
In my opinion, right?
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like I definitely understand like where people who record themselves crying get those come from. Because like not saying I would do it, but like it really because like you said, other people have shit too.
Right.
And maybe the person who's posting themselves crying, like maybe their shit has gotten to the point where they don't care anymore.
Right.
And it's to the point where they want the world to see that they're broken. Well, I want to say broken because not everybody who cries is broken, but like they want their following or viewers to see that like they're not necessarily okay.
But okay, then
I don't want that to get confused with. I don't want that to get. I don't want that to get confused with attention seeking, but like it's also very. How do I put it? I don't know.
I understand what you're saying, but then all right, so let's go back. Let's take this thing full circle though, right? So this is a weird transition to social media, right? So seeing people cry on social media and seeing them do that, right? That might help them. But are you crying on social media because that helps you, or are you crying on social media because you like the attention that it might give you, right? Or like you might like the people that's like, oh, are you okay? Right? Like the are you okays. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I love the are you okays. I love the are you okays. I love when people ask me, am I okay? Right? Do I just post like random?
It makes you, for me personally, like it makes you feel loved. Like it makes you feel like
it makes you feel wanted.
And right.
Right. Even when it feels like people don't want you, it makes you feel wanted, right? But do I go out and just be posting random things like things that aren't real for the are you okays? No. No. I would never post anything that's not real so I can get an are you okay? At least right now in my life. Who knows? Maybe later on I'll become a douchebag and post a whole bunch of like fake stuff just because. But right now in my life, no, I cannot.
That's hilarious because that's. I just thought of 10 people who like really. I just thought of 4 people who is that person who will post. Damn.
Exactly.
I'm
like
gonna kill myself.
exactly like
Right.
like like bro.
Then you ask them what's wrong. You ask them what's wrong. They be like, "Oh, nothing. I just didn't get these hair sneakers."
Like nah, bro. Like if something's really wrong, tell me what's like. And this is another thing, right? That I'm bad at. When people ask me what's wrong, I don't say what's wrong, even though something is visibly wrong. Right? You do that too? You do that too?
What do you mean?
Like when somebody like when somebody like asks you like,
what's wrong? For walking off camera.
Oh, you good? I do that all the time. When somebody like asks you like, what's wrong, right? And you be like, nothing, but something is visibly wrong with you. Like I can see something's wrong with you, right? You do that. Don't lie and say you don't do that. I've seen you do that before.
No, yeah, I definitely do. Yeah. I feel like that ties back to the previous question that you asked me. Why do like men have these mental problems that they can't talk about? Like that ties back to that. And
You say I guess it does. I'm good at my job. I'm really good at this. Okay, no, I'm not.
Flatter.
All right.
Don't flatter. Anyway, yeah, like it just ties back to that because like people, well, guys, it's like that's meaning like a guy trait. Dudes will sit up there and be like, "Oh yeah, like I'm cool, bro. Like I'll be alright," and they being like internalize that pain or whatever we're feeling and bottle it up, like because we've been taught that like we're not allowed to talk about our emotions. We've been taught to just off and get over it. So yeah, like I've done it personally. I know you've done it. Like I feel like it's just like a very, I don't know. Yeah. It's like an inbred thing in the male society.
Yeah. You toxic.
I don't think to be proud of. Okay.
That's okay. It's not, but it's something that's good to admit.
Embrace it.
Something that's good to admit. I wouldn't say embrace it, but it's something that's good to admit. It's good to admit. You're toxic. You're toxic. You don't think crying, like not thinking that crying is beneficial because there's work to do. That's toxic. That's toxic. Because really, crying should be seen as a as a health thing, right? It should be like you should cry like, and I don't mean like cry every day, but like cry like once every 2 weeks. Like you can cry every now and then, right? That's healthy.
I think it's fairly healthy to cry every day, because the way I look at crying is about to get real vulgar, y'all. It's similar to taking poops.
All right, thank y'all for tuning into the Austin
Crying is like
um, it's been
it's not even like that. Like, hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Hear me out. Crying is similar to taking poops because, for example, when you're pooping, like that's like all those toxins like leaving your body and stuff.
Okay.
But like emotion, like when you cry, like emotionally, like that's all the negative emotions and toxins leaving your body through tears. So I feel like it would be very healthy, like if all of us cried every day, if we all had a cry session or a mental check-in, and like we somehow end up crying to ourselves.
Right.
Like I feel like crying is pretty normal, and it should be a day-to-day thing. And yeah, like that's just my standpoint on it.
Oh, this is the point that I wanted to bring up from the last time, right? When we we also brought up the point of why don't like older people hear us. We touched on it a little bit like in school, right? Touched on a little tad bit. But why don't I forgot what we said, right? But why don't people listen to us? Or when we be like,
I feel like adults.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like adults listen to us, like because they're trying to continue the cycle, that I was speaking about earlier. And this isn't even just like a little black boy thing. Like period, there's a cycle when it comes to the age gap and authority. What I mean by authority is like when adults tell you, "Oh, you're wrong, and I'm right because I'm an adult," or well, like I don't have to listen to you because you're just a child, and whatever you say could no way be right to mine simply because I'm older than you.
Right.
And I feel like there shouldn't be an age limit or like a starter on experience and um like was innocence.
Right.
Because like example, like you never know like what someone goes through like until you know what they do. So like you could look at someone, they could be like they could have the best family on the outside, like get everything they want, make perfect grades, but internally like they're struggling mentally, like they feel alone, they feel suicidal, they feel like they have no one to talk to, like they genuinely feel like they don't have a home.
Right.
So like adults to like for like adults to really be like, okay, well, since you're younger than me, I'm just gonna assume that you don't know what you're talking about, and my opinion and my statement holds way more water because I'm roughly 20 plus years older than you.
Right.
So
but,
yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Right. But at the same time, you can learn from anybody.
Honestly.
You can learn from anybody. You can learn from anybody older than you. You can learn from anybody younger than you. Like
I feel like that's what a lot of adults in this generation want to accept. Yeah, I feel like they're to accept it like they could learn from a younger person.
Exactly.
I feel like with Gen Z, I feel like that's why like a lot of millennials, and I forgot the generation, but the generation above millennials, like not necessarily like Gen Z because they're stuck in that age and that cycle where since because like that's how they were raised. Like, well, don't disrespect elders, don't talk back to adults, just say
To be
yes.
honest, bro, we need to we need to kick some old people canes. I ain't gonna lie. Some old people we need to.
I asked you this earlier,
Bro,
the
we
other
need to
day.
kick some old
Like,
people's walkers.
like if like an 80-year-old grandma and grandpa, like if they were walking up the steps and asked you for help, but they was like mad disrespectful, and like you were trying to explain something to them. They were like, I don't care. You're young and you're dumb. Just help me. Like, what would you do in that situation?
I'm not helping you down the steps. Actually, no, I'm a Christian. I will help you down the steps. But my soul would
That's
not
like, well, way you would help her down.
would not want me to, but I walk in the blood of Christ. So yes, I would. But at the same time though, right? They don't give you the right to be disrespectful. Old people think they deserve an award because they lived. You didn't do nothing. You just lived. You lived long. What what award do you want? You just lived long. You didn't do nothing. You just lived.
But like, no, I definitely feel like it all goes back to perspective. Everything we've talked about goes back down to the root of perspective. Even what you just said about living long. Life is unique. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a philosopher, like philosophize something right now. Right. Life is what you make it. Like, you are who you are. Like, there is no such thing as destiny. Like, you make your own path. Right. Every day we have a choice to get up and do what we're supposed to, or lay in bed an extra 5 minutes. Right. And then that 5 minutes turn into 10 minutes. And then that 10 minutes turn to 30 minutes. And then that turns into missing first period or being late to work.
Get off TikTok, bro. That's the biggest message. Get off TikTok. Yeah, no, he not saying it how it is, but y'all be on TikTok. That's why y'all be late to class. That's why y'all be late to work, because y'all be on TikTok. Some of y'all too old to be on TikTok anyway. What y'all on TikTok for? Ain't nothing on TikTok for y'all.
Yeah, you said EDP? You said EDP? Like topic. But nah, but definitely, like, it's really, it all just comes down to perspective. And life is what you make it. So not only that was like the living old thing, like you could live old and have the best life ever. When I say by the best life is make life what you wanted. You could go out and do, because like I feel like this isn't saying I'm about to drop y'all. This is already trademarked, so don't take it. Everybody has $1 billion dream with a minimum wage worth work.
Yeah.
So like, that sounds pretty self-explanatory. And yeah, like, it is what it is. Like, people can really do whatever they want. And I feel like as long as you play the cards you're dealt right, even if that means making a hand for yourself, you can still come out on top. You can still come out a part of that 1%er.
And to all the old people, and I'm going to reiterate this statement because it's about time to wrap. To all the old people that think it is hard to be us, that it is hard to be y'all, try being us during the social media era. I promise you that it is way more difficult, right? Actually, we didn't even touch on that a lot, like we did last time, like I wanted to, right? How like mental health affects us teens, and like that sucks. Like, social media sucks.
Honestly, like, I feel like social media and like being a teenager in like the social media era and time, like, it's not helpful for anybody really. Like, yeah, like we get our news from social media, like, yeah, like we see what's happening with SARS, like current events and like the tragedies and the positivities. Right. Positivities, the positive parts. But like, at the end of the day, social media like is realistically our biggest downfall. Right. Instead of being a teenager. Because not only does like that tie back to what you were saying earlier and what I was saying earlier about like the TikTok and like being lost in the social trends and like losing track of time. Right. Like, social media really is like our biggest downfall. And I feel like mentally social media plays a huge part, because if it wasn't for like social media, then I feel like everybody would be better off personally. Even though social media is a lot of people's escape, I feel like social media brings in that comparison. And now once you have that comparison, like you're comparing yourself to everyone, and then that could potentially be bad for your own self-esteem and your own like mental health. Right. Like, at the end of the day, I believe in this. Everybody is beautiful. Like, even though people do struggle with their own things and like it could be a monster inside, regardless, you're still a human being and like you still have some type of emotions, which makes you beautiful. And we're gonna end it with that.
Right. That's facts. Everybody's beautiful. It's hard. The reason I say that it's hard being a teenager, right, during the social media era, is because we want a lot of things, but we don't. But a lot of things we don't need. A lot of things we want this type of relationship. We want this. We want these shoes. We want this car. We want this house. Even little things, right? We want this necklace. We want this ring, right?
Right.
We want these crystals, whatever, right? But what do we need?
No, I don't. Don't mislead the crystals, because a lot of people they be needing them crystals, like that spiritual journey. Like,
well, no, I'm talking about like the people who just is doing it just because it's trendy, right? Not people that because they're really into it, but the people that are doing it because like it's just it now, right? Not the people that like spent their time to really understand what it means, but the people that just be like, "Oh, that one looks pretty," right?
Right. I feel like everyone should go.
Oh, I'm just to finish off this point. Like, what do you like? Think about it, and I'm talking to the teens, right? What do you really need, adults? You should already know what you need. If you don't, then you're right with us. You're not an adult for real. You're still a teenager. What do you really know? No, let's keep it a buck. If you don't know what you need as an adult, you're still a teenager. That's ridiculous. You don't like, come on, you're 30 plus years old and you still don't know what you want. That's ridiculous. Teens, what do you need? But what was you about to say?
I was just I don't know what you were saying. No, don't.
Oh, yeah. Also seeing like other people, we mentioned this in the last one too. Seeing other people do better than you, that's younger than you, or that's the same age as you, right? You feel like you ain't doing nothing. You feel like you ain't doing nothing, or the work that you are putting in
isn't good
enough, or isn't equaling to the work that they're putting in. When really you could be putting in more work than they're putting in. They're just in the right positions, right? So to be honest, all around, I'm going to mention this again. Like, I feel like we need a break. Everybody needs a break from social media. Everybody needs to take a social media hiatus for however long they feel like they need to, right? How many people are actually going to do it? I don't know, because yeah. I feel like the people who have things going for themselves will. Like the people who are starting businesses, because that's time. Like me, I probably will, because that'll be time to focus on content. Like the time that I'm on social media, that'll be time to like focus on trying to make content, right? The people that's like doing jewelry or clothing, right? That'll be time to like get their clothes and jewelry designs or whatever, right?
Right. Look out for this up and clothing brand, ALO, ALO, Black owned business, truly. Yeah. But yeah, like I understand where you're coming from, because I would take that week or however long I need as well, because like social media is the common distractor. And like we all have bigger things to work on, whether that's school, whether that's a home and personal life, or like whether that's like actual things we're trying to start up, like jewelry brands or clothing brands or podcasts, or like professions that like we want to embark in one day. So I definitely feel
and don't let the dream of somebody on social media become your dream, right? Let the dream of you want to be a painter. You want to paint, right?
Me personally?
No, not you personally.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
You want to paint. You don't want to be a rapper. You can't even rap for real. Right? Spit me 4 balls. Spit me 4 bars right now, and I bet they aren't terrible. Right?
Right.
You, but you're a great painter. But
Right.
you looking at the baby and little baby, seeing all that money they getting, seeing all this recognition they getting, and you ain't getting nothing from your paintings, bro. Keep
You
painting.
sitting up here, you trying to be a Pop Smoke, you should be a Picasso. Like focus on what you love, not what's in the social media. Like yeah, to stay relevant, you have to stay on what's hot, but that only works if you're already relevant. If you don't already have a following, there's no point in following something that's not going to get you any traction. You might as well follow and pursue your passion, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to sit beside you. You
Dead or
being a
alive,
painter,
man.
that's
Dead or alive, man. To everybody that's new watching the Arts Block podcast, I have a segment called Dead or Alive, where the artist gets to choose some artists that they would like to work with that is dead or alive. You can choose one artist. You can choose 100 artists. Please don't choose 100 artists because I still have to edit this podcast. Dead or alive, let's go. I'm rushing into dead or alive, man, because I like that last statement. We gotta end off. We gotta end off in that note. We gotta end off in that note. Come on, man.
I'm gonna say, first and foremost, myself.
Okay.
Then I would have Dante Hitchcock.
Okay.
The entire Dreamville team.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
And you said Dead or Alive, right?
Yep.
Leonardo da Vinci.
By Leonardo da Vinci.
I don't know. I feel like it would just be interesting. Like very interesting.
Got you. All right, well, Andrew, thank you for coming. Hey, holy, Russia, bye. Hey, thank you for coming on to the Arts Block podcast. I really do appreciate you. I do.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I do appreciate this conversation that we ran back a second time. I promise I won't delete this episode. Just
send it to me. I won't make it leak it.
This raw footage is going straight on the hard drive as soon as it's done converting. Don't even worry about it, bro. This is going straight on the hard drive. But is there anything that you want to say before we get off the podcast?
And the famous words of J. Cole, love yours. I'm gonna deal with that.
I can't top that. So I'm just gonna do my outro. And I'm going to start my outro by thanking everyone that's watching this amazing episode of the Onspot Podcast. This might be starting something. This might be the start of like a little thing that I might be doing. Mm-hmm. I don't know though. It might be. We'll see. But thank you, every person that's watching the Onspot Podcast. I have been your host, your beautiful, melanated, wonderful host, Eric Curry III. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. You can follow the podcast at Arts Block Podcast. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you give me a 5-star and a review. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. If you're listening anywhere else, shout out to you. Remember that artists never die. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace. Oh, snap, almost.